First question, Zach Jackson.
Hi, Greg. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Hey, I just want to ask you about your athletic background. What did you play besides football? What positions did you play before corner, and why did you stick with football and with corner specifically?
Yeah, so growing up, I've played basketball, ran track, played volleyball, and then obviously played football. And growing up, a kid from Chicago, I thought I was playing basketball. Like I thought I was the best basketball player there was. But honestly, the reason that I chose football was more so it was put in front of me. I knew the opportunities that football can give me, just because with recruiting and things like that, like there's more opportunities in football. And, I'm going to give all the credit to my mom. When I was in sixth grade, I was playing AU basketball, 7-on-7 had just started up, and my mom just took me out of basketball altogether. I was mad at the time, things like that. But, I think she chose the right thing for me. So that's how I kind of chose football.
What about the NFL? Like a year ago now, if I would have asked you, did you think you'd be coming out this year? Did you'd be ready?
Yeah, most definitely. Coming here, that was a goal of mine to, go 3-and-done and be the first 3-and-done player in, Coach Fitz's tenure. So that was definitely a goal of mine. And I knew that, if I put my head down this offseason and work, I knew that it was going to be a possibility after the season.
Thank you.
Next question, Steve McGargy.
Thanks and congratulations. I didn't know what you had necessarily to compare it to, but I was just wondering what the atmosphere was like today with the protocols in place. I imagine limiting some sort of contact with the coaches. Just how difficult was it, or were you kind of accustomed to it after what y'all all went through last year?
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. And, it's my first pro day, so I don't really know how it usually is. I thought it was great. Some of my teammates were able to come watch me and cheer me on. So, the atmosphere was great. Just like during the season, we brought the juice today. I credit a lot of those guys, from the football team who came out to support, their juice did not go unrecognized. I think it was a great time out there.
Alexis Manzanares.
Hello, Greg. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Real quick, I wanted to circle back to a point that Coach made earlier. He said you play, and it's obviously noticeable that you play with this chip on your shoulder type mentality, but that you're very humble. I just wanted you to hopefully speak on the duality of your personality on the field and off, and how your family and all of that has played a role in it.
Yeah, my personality on and off the field. Off the field, I'm probably, one of the nicest, sweetest guys. Yeah, but on the field, I flip a switch, and I'm a competitor. So, I hate to lose. So that's kind of, a reason why I play so hard. And, just playing with that chip on my shoulder, I think, I was slept on. I still think I am in this draft, and even during the season, and even in college football. So, every single down, every single practice, I'm going to play with that chip on my shoulder, and just remember, where I came from. Being even recruited as a high schooler, I think I was still slept on and things like that. So, I always have that in the back of my mind, and that's kind of the way I play that. And just, with my family, I have a huge family, a big supporting family, and, all the sacrifices they've made for me growing up and things like that. That's another reason why I play the way I do, just so, I can repay them in the future and, make their lives a lot easier. So that's kind of the reason why I play how I do.
Of course. And last question, Coach said that there hasn't been a need to humble you because your family will step in and do that for him. How do you stay grounded throughout this process and on the verge of making it to the next level?
Yeah, the way I stay grounded is, first starting with Christ. Christ, without Christ, I wouldn't be in the position I am today. All the adversities that I've went through and things like that, they were put in my life for a reason, so I can overcome and things like that. But the way I stay humble is, I remember where I came from, and I remember just a season ago, the feeling that we felt, not having a great season. So just keeping that in the back of my mind and knowing that, things can turn, the wrong way very quickly. So just remember that. Just living in the moment and enjoying it all.
Great. Thank you so much, Greg. Best of luck.
Matt McMullen.
Hey, Greg. So I write for the Kansas City Chiefs website, and looking at the mock drafts and stuff like that, you're a guy that could be in the mix for the Chiefs at the bottom end of the first round. I'm just curious, what do you know about the Chiefs, and what would that mean to you if the Chiefs is where you land?
Yeah, I know that the Chiefs have one of arguably the best quarterback, in the league, and also that, they have a great offense. Their defense, they play a lot of zero and they blitz a lot. So, it would be great to go to the Chiefs or whoever drafts me. But, I know that they have a great program and they're going to have a quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks for the next, I think, 10 years. I think he just signed. So, I just know that their offense, they have a offensive firepower over there.
Matt Mayoko.
Hey, Greg, this is I'm out in San Francisco and was wondering, like, how much through the years have you watched Richard Sherman and his game? And has there been anything, he's been one of the best in the league for 10 years and has kind of, used his smarts and everything else to kind of remake himself. What have you been able to, maybe take from his game or things about his game that you might admire?
Yeah, I think it's just his savviness, like you alluded to. He uses his smarts out there on the field, and that's something I kind of do. Just by splits, or whether he knows if a guy takes 5 steps, he's coming in, or things like that. So just watching him, I like the way he plays zone. He's a great zone player and is able to jump a lot of routes, things like that. But just that savviness, I can tell that he's a huge film guy. Just the way he reads defenses and things like that. He wasn't the fastest guy out there, at the combine and things like that. So I knew that there was something that is making him, obviously one of the top corners in the league. And I think, majority of that is just his savviness and just how he knows the game of football.
Thank you.
Next question, Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Greg. I want to ask you about the pre-draft process so far with teams able to do those virtual meetings or FaceTime calls. Have you had a lot of them? I cover the Browns, so I'm obviously interested. The Browns are one of those teams you've been talking to, but, do you want to mention some of the teams that you've had conversations with and kind of how that's been going for you?
Yeah, I talked to a bunch of teams, talked to the Patriots, the Broncos, talked to the Browns. I talked the Packers, the Patriots. I pretty much talked to majority of the teams. And, they've been going pretty well. A lot of guys were just excited to see what I was going to run. And, some of the things that, I needed to clean up in my game, they wanted to see if I improved on those things, for instance, my strength, and things like that. So a lot of them, they've been going great. I'm having a good time with their interviews. So, yeah, they've been going well, though.
So what's the main thing you want teams to know they're going to get from you if they draft you? And then a follow-up is, because you mentioned running. I've seen on social media 4.31 unofficial. Is that the time you've been told? And then how do you feel about it?
Yeah, when the team drafts me, first of all, they're going to get the best corner in the country. I don't take that lightly. I know that I am the best. And, the reason why I know that is I can do it all. I could play man, I could play zone. I can do it all literally. And, even in our scheme, we're more of a, let guys catch the ball in front of us and rally and tackle and not give up the deep ball. But you can see the way I played this season, I was not okay with letting guys catch the football. And, I just think that an NFL team, when they see my versatility, that I can do and see that I can do it all, I don't see why I won't be the first corner off the board.
Next question for Mark Lane.
Hey, Greg, where have you been training as far as like a gym, and who is your agent?
Yeah, I was training down in Arizona at Exos, and my agent is Patrick Collins in CAA.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you.
Next question for Teresa Walker.
Greg, you run that great time in the 40. How different did it feel? I mean, if you'd done it at the combine, those are usually shown every year on NFL Network, and, they break you down. Sometimes they'll put somebody else as a comparison running alongside you. Did it have that kind of special feel that you would, usually get? Or does it just matter that you put a good time out there for NFL teams to look at? Would have been nice to have been at that combine today.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Like, obviously, I haven't been to the combine at least ever. And, I definitely, had dreams of going to the combine and doing that whole entire process. But, I think it's going to be legit anyways because of how many head coaches and things were there. And I think it might even be more pressure here just because there's so many coaches just sitting around you, literally right in front of you while you're watching. So, I definitely wish I could have ran at the combine just because that was a dream of mine. But, I think I did a great job here, and, I wouldn't have traded this for anything. So the atmosphere was great. Like I said, my teammates were able to actually see me run. So that was another positive, and my teammates wouldn't have been able to come to Indianapolis. So, I thought it was a great day. And, even though I didn't run in Indy, I thought it was that Indy feel anyways.
Thank you.
We have time for 2 more questions. Next question for Doug Farr.
Hey, Greg, thanks for doing this. Something that shows up on the Pro Football Focus stats and certainly on the tape backs that up. What is your secret and kind of your key?
You're on mute.
I think you're muted there, Doug.
Sorry, my Cardinal said. Greg, the Pro Football Focus metrics have you targeted 7 times on balls of 20 air yards or more, giving up 0 catches. To take back that up, what are your secrets and keys to becoming that kind of deep third eraser that NFL teams certainly want?
Yeah, I mean, there's really no secrets. I just feel like it's just first in that mentality. I'm a very confident player. I think if I eliminate those deep routes, I don't think a team's going to beat us. So just knowing that and knowing, where my help's coming from and knowing that my guy on the other side of the field is also doing his job, I don't want to let the team down. So just knowing that like I said, I don't want to let the team down and, just trusting my technique. And, we work a lot of that stuff at practice with my DB coach, Coach Mack. So, credit to him with that as well. We focus a lot on playing through the hands and things like that. But, I don't really necessarily think there's a secret. You just got to go out there, be confident and be a dog out there.
Thanks.
And last question for Jacob Hutchinson. All right, we may not have Jacob. We'll go to Zach Jackson. Nothing from Zach. Okay, Griffin Floyd.
Hey, Greg, you mentioned that bulking up or, getting more strength is a focus of yours. How do you kind of corroborate that with your speed? Like, how do you manage to keep that great playing speed you have while still building up strength as well?
Yeah, I think it's definitely credit to my trainers down at Exos, Arizona. We put together a great plan where, one wouldn't hurt the other, not necessarily putting on too much weight and being slower, but, not being too light and not being strong enough. I credit that a lot to those guys down at Exos for really breaking down my body and, seeing a pretty good weight that, I can sit at and still be strong and fast. So credit to those guys down there.
Awesome. Thanks, Greg.
Of course. Thank you.